Back to where the action is. WICR.
Hello and welcome,
WICR, rocking the campus in New Rochelle.
Hello. Greetings. Press the pause button, but AB conversation's still going on.
I'm playing a liner over us, Ben. What's going on?
I don't know. But Anthony, it's AB conversation. Welcome.
It's been that type of night.
Yes.
It's been that type of a day.
And you're all dappered up.
You know, I've come to the realization that one day when I have a job, you know, doing this, I'm gonna be good for one thing only: speaking. And any technical, technicalities, I struggle with those. Jersey Joe Archino sitting to my left.
Jersey Joe.
Pleasure to be here, boys. Always when I get to work with Ben Zeno here and Anthony Carlo, the one and only. It's a pleasure.
Wow.
But as you know, Ben, Jersey Joe and I do a show, College Football Corner.
College Football Corner.
We gotta
clawing our way out of that corner.
We gotta shout that show out, and stay tuned this spring for a possible. We're not sure if this is going to be the exact.
Oh, it'll happen.
We're sure about the show. We're not sure about the title, but we're gonna go with a working title of the Hot Corner.
Oh.
We got to stay with the corner, Benzino. You know, we're big fans of the corner, Carlo and I. Some people don't like sitting in the corner. We thrive in the corner. We live in the corner.
I hope you guys are not standing at the corner.
No.
Not standing at the corner. No.
You know, when I was little, sometimes before I learned how to really play third base, I would flinch at the corner.
Okay.
I would flinch at the corner, yeah. So we're here tonight. We're introducing AB Conversation, of course. As we mentioned, Jersey Joe, our special guest, and we're gonna kick the night off with a little baseball. Spring training is officially here, and position players are reporting on tomorrow, I believe, right?
They
tomorrow.
should be.
Tomorrow is the day, at least for the New York Yankees. Position players are reporting tomorrow, but Alex Rodriguez showing up a day early at Yankees camp, or a couple of days early, and he gets out there in a bang. Already, we have begun what they're now dubbing once again the circus. Thoughts?
Who cares?
I'm kind of with Benzino. Who cares, and can he just go away? I mean, I'm honestly, I'm just so done with it. Even if you thought A-Rod could reasonably do something for this team, he's 40 years old. What do you expect from the guy? He's going to break meaningless records. I think it's kind of embarrassing because we go back to the old boss. He wouldn't have been around anymore. This is just the Suns not wanting to have to give him the money to walk away. They want something back for their investment. I'm just tired of it. I really am.
I mean, the boss fired Yogi Berra how many times, and Billy Martin as well? Fired and brought them back, fired and brought them back. Hey, that's a great point. I mean, Ben and I have been discussing this, I say, a couple of times now, and my response to Ben every single time this comes up is, I don't really care what you have to say anymore, or if you're going to apologize anymore, because it's not like I'm going to sit here and take it genuinely. All I care is if you can help this team win, okay? Your one job coming back here to this team as a player who's paid professionally to play Major League Baseball or any sport is to contribute to a team and help them win. So if Alex Rodriguez can do that, then I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to forgive him for what he did, but I will focus on this season in a business light. If he's out there and the business of the Yankees winning and advancing towards another championship is being contributed to by Alex Rodriguez, because it sure as hell should be since he's getting paid the money he's getting paid, I'm going to leave you alone. I might even root for you. But to make this into a circus, listen, it's going to be a media circus all year long.
And that's the thing. That was one of my points. Is think about this time around last summer when this whole suspension thing came out. Think of how big of a media circus that was, and how then it died down. It's going to be back, and it's going to last the whole season, basically. This is going to be a constant, daily thing between him and the media because he has lost credibility. Why would we have the right? Why do we give him the benefit of the doubt when he's lied multiple times? He hasn't earned that right, and it's going to be a media circus every single night now.
Well, here's the thing. Joe and I would probably, I feel like Joe would maybe disagree with me on this because Joe, we all are, big opposers to steroids. And of course we want to really know part of that in the game because it's tarnished the game, it's ruined the game. But Ben, with A-Rod back in the game, back to the Yankees, is it really inconceivable to say it's good that he's back? It's good that he's bringing an excitement back to the Yankees that the Yankees need, that something to stir up some controversy, something to get the fans talking, something to get the ratings back up, which were down last year. Is it really 100% wrong to be excited A-Rod is back?
I don't think excited is the right word. He's a firecracker right now. He's not the fireworks like he used to be. He can still hit the home run, maybe. Hopefully, Yankee fans, he can get the home run and fireworks will happen. But if he arrived the normal day, he was still going to get news. Just because he arrived the same time as pitchers and catchers, it's the whole, he's early, he's really dedicated to the game, showing up with the pitchers and catchers.
That's what he was trying to probably show.
I don't mean nothing.
Joe, what's your response?
Well, I do want to say, you said to kind of help with the ratings and to get fans back, but I mean, come on, this is the New York Yankees. This is a team that has a legacy unlike anyone else in any sport franchise ever. Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. You can't be so desperate that you need this guy to get fans back. And I think with him, I'm not even expecting that much, but I think we all know what the Yankees have to do. You got to go back to developing guys, because a lot of people say, well, the Yankees have always spent so much in free agency. But if you look at the core of the teams that we are so used to seeing winning over the last couple of years, they really filled out the roster with free agents in the holes. That core was all developed from their own farm system. They have to get back to that. It's all about that. That's the key to getting back to the top for the Yanks.
I agree with him. I mean, I personally, to respond to you about the A-Rod thing, this may be a personal thing, so it could be just me. But, I'm going to enjoy watching A-Rod play this year. It could be because I've always enjoyed watching him play, and maybe when you have sort of a favorite player, no matter what they do, sometimes you're still going to enjoy watching them play. That's my feel on it, and I think that Yankee fans, they're going to love him or they're going to hate him this year. If he comes back and he's hitting home runs and everything, the Yankee fans are going to love him again. That's the way New York fans act. So he may do, in my opinion, some good things in that respect to start stirring up some excitement if he can come back with a bang. To respond to another good point you made about the face of the franchise, I can't stand to hear radio talk show hosts, sports talk show hosts, try and answer the question of who is the face. Ellsbury, McCann, Tanaka. You can't answer that question. That question is answered when the development of another player comes up. When another Derek Jeter, and there'll never be one exactly like him, but when another player like Derek Jeter comes up from the farm system, and it may take 5-6 years. It may take a long time. But don't try and put a face to the franchise if there is none. Don't try and tell me any of these big free agents that came over like Ellsbury, McCann, Tanaka, Beltran. Please, I'd rather call Gardner the face of the franchise than any of those players.
Farm system.
It's the farm system. That's what it is. That's the face. The Mets have David Wright. He'll always be the face. The Yankees really need to develop that farm system and bring somebody up. That's where the face is going to come from.
Anthony, also in Yankee news, the big guy, CC Sabathia, is now big again. Coming into training camp at 305 pounds.
Is he really now?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was up that. What? So maybe he's trying to revert back to when he was heavier.
See, before I go, guys, I want to give you this theory, and you guys, I'm gonna hear this later when I get home and watch this. When you look at CC, when he was really very consistent with his numbers, always a top pitcher in this league, the weight was never an issue. Then when CC gets on this diet, it becomes such a big issue. The reason that things aren't going his way this far into the season, because of the weight, he breaks down. There's got to be a connection there, doesn't there? There's got to be.
Yep. I agree. I think like Ben said, I think Ben with the weight he's putting back on now, I think that he was better when he was heavier, and he lost weight to try and prolong his career and to make sure he had knee problems coming along, and he figured if he lost some weight, he would take some pressure off of his knee, and he'd be able to go maybe even more years in the majors, being as productive as he was. But he was a workhorse, taking the Yankees on his back through the playoffs, all when he was heavier.
Even with the Brewers, The Brewers, he would go off 3 days rest, and even with he used to be called CC Fireball Sabathia.
Yeah.
So that weight was getting more miles per hour with his fastball.
So to continue this segment that we're opening up this beautiful show with on AB Conversation, we are going to transition a bit, staying in baseball, over to the Boston Red Sox, Yankees rival, arch rivals, who landed a very big name yesterday. Yoan Moncada coming over for $31 million from Cuba.
Yes.
Another international player. And a player, Ben, that maybe in a few years will be in the same category as your Yasiel Puig, your Jose Abreu, your
Anthony.
Excuse me, I'm at a loss for words. The
I like
Florida Marlins pitcher
Fernandez.
Oh yeah, Fernandez.
I liked how you mentioned these players because actually I have their stats written down. These players are coming from Cuba, and Yasiel Puig Mania. Everybody knows that. A career-wise 305 average, 35 home runs, 111 RBIs. This is only entering his third year into the league. Yoenis Cespedes, 263, 71 home runs, and 262 RBIs. And now people forget about Aroldis Chapman. When Chapman came into the league, this dude was throwing heat, and he's still throwing heat.
Yeah,
I'm happy Cincinnati put him in the bullpen, but he has 113 saves, 430 strikeouts. Also, Abreu mentioned Rookie of the Year, 317 average last year with 36 home runs and 107 RBIs.
He tore it up last year, Abreu. That was a beautiful list because I forgot about a couple of those players. Yoenis Cespedes. It has been a wave of international players coming over, especially though from Cuba.
Yes.
And before this wave that we've gotten of modern day, the last sort of wave we got was the El Duque wave.
Yeah.
The Orlando Hernandez, of course, Yankee
and
pitcher. Livan Hernandez. That was the last wave of sort of good players, and El Duque escaped Cuba on a boat.
Yep.
And he escaped and came over here. So there's a plethora of talent over in Cuba, and it's exciting to see these players because they're making the majors more exciting. I mean, these players are coming up into the majors, and they're changing the game already. They're being dynamic. Yep. So, Ben, with Moncada on the Red Sox, this team has become a much better team than last year.
Even though he's 19 and he's coming from the Cuba League. He had 31.5 mil. This guy was rumored by the Yankees to be signed for $100 million, but he only signs for $31.5 million, even though he had a 277 batting average in Cuba. So can this guy really be a factor, or is it just because of the Cuban hype, because of Puig and Chapman and names we've already seen?
Well, you're right. The Yankees went head-to-head with the Red Sox about this one, and the last time they lost a head-to-head battle for a Cuban player was Jose Contreras a few years back. And we know Jose Contreras didn't turn out to be too good. So you're absolutely right. Moncada may not be good. I mean, he may flop. But the point is this. They won the battle. They outbid the Yankees by, I believe, $6 million. They win Moncada. Most likely, Moncada will not be making a difference for the Red Sox this year because he will be in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
They say he probably won't be making a major league level difference till next year.
Okay.
But the team overall, from the Red Sox, what I've seen them do this year, I truly believe they're going to rise from the bottom to the top. I mean, they went out, they got Hanley Ramirez. They went out, they got Pablo Sandoval. Of course, you've got your Pedroia, your Napoli, your Ortiz. They went out, they got back Masterson. If you remember Joe Killer Kelly from the Cardinals, that young pitcher who pitched well in the postseason, they got him. They got Rick Porcello, another big pitcher from the Tigers. Yeah. And Clay Buchholz is going to be their ace at the top of that staff. So their team looks very, very much ready to win this division this year. And I think that they got some youth with Bogarts at short, and I believe they have a new catcher behind the plate, a young catcher.
Okay.
His name, I can find his name.
Even though another Cuban player that was also coveted in the offseason was Yasemi Tomas, he actually signed with the Diamondbacks. So this guy, he's a bigger player, and maybe he's seeing the success from Abreu, who would make an impact from not even a small market team. Diamondbacks are a small market team. So when Abreu came to the White Sox, he rejuvenated. He had fans in the seats. So hopefully Tomas can do the same for that organization, the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's a great point. Tomas was another one. Vasquez was that young catcher for the Red Sox. But, looking at the American League East this year, even though, as we said, Moncada, maybe he will be brought up. We never know. I mean, maybe they want to. Maybe he's tearing up the minors. Most likely, though, it'll be next year by the time he gets major league level play. Where do you see the Red Sox landing this year in the East? I mean, the Yankees obviously didn't make a big free agent splash. They picked up Miller from the Orioles to kind of solidify the bullpen, especially with the loss of Robertson. But other than that, do the Red Sox have the potential to win the division?
Yeah, they do, because Baltimore had not a down year, but it wasn't that same Baltimore year that we saw with Machado and Jones that really picked up that organization. So Boston has a legitimate chance to take over the AL East.
Yeah, Baltimore this year, I really don't think they're going to be like they were last year. I mean, last year they were ready to go to the World Series when they lost to the...
And Davis got that suspension for the DUI.
PEDs. They lost to the Royals in the championship series, but I really think that it's going to be basically the Red Sox and then everybody else. And I think that everybody else is primarily going to be the Yankees and the Orioles fighting for second place, because I think the Rays' time is done, their time of success. I think they're going to go back to rebuilding the team and may turn into a contender again maybe next year or the year after. But for this year, I think it's going to be the Red Sox and then the Yankees and Orioles battling for that number 2 spot.
So the Blue Jays are not even in the question?
The Blue Jays are difficult because they always show that they've got the players.
On paper.
They've got the talent, but then, and they may even show that for a portion of the year, but then they fall apart. They tank. So I'm not putting my bets on the Blue Jays anymore. If they do well, they do well. Right now, though, my focus, if I'm trying to prep for a season, is the Yankees, the Orioles, and the Red Sox.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on those 3 teams. The Red Sox, I think, will have a shot at winning the pennant this year. So with that being said, the circus in the Bronx, Alex Rodriguez, of course, we've talked a lot about how if he can produce for this team, I'll pretty much forgive and forget. Or I should say I won't forgive, but I'll forget.
Okay.
I won't forgive what he's done, costing the Yankees a year with his stupid decisions, but I will forget if he's doing well. And the Yankees will have definitely their hands full. But this show is going to move forward now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with some NBA.
Yes, I will be. Anthony and I will be discussing the NBA. And also in our third segment, if we get into it, because you never know what happens on AB Conversation, we talk about that fight. No, not the fight on the playground. That Manny Pacquiao, that Floyd Pretty Boy Money Mayweather fight. So stay tuned to AB Conversation. And show word. Hey, Carlo.